Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Wilden. I'm an attorney with Orton Kavanaugh and Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first Orton Kavanaugh and Holmes video, welcome. If not, welcome back. We appreciate you stopping by and watching our videos. To those of you who have seen our videos before, the next part is going to be very, very familiar. To those of you who have not, here's a legal disclaimer. This is not legal advice. This video serves a general informational or educational purpose to provide updates to kind of how community associations function in a pandemic and how they should, and things they should take into consideration when making decisions. At no point should anything we say here be considered legal advice. If you do have any questions that actually need a lawyer, please go ahead and give your community association attorney a call. Like many of you, we have been locked in our homes for the past several weeks and would love a phone call. It's just nice to, hear a new voice every now and then. So please, if you have any questions regarding this, give us a call. We'd love to help. Oh, well, that's my dog, Ted. Unsurprisingly, one of the most frequently asked questions we've had in a few weeks is, what obligation or requirement does a board of directors have if they find out that someone in their community has either tested positive for COVID-19 or is depicting COVID-19-like symptoms? And I want to be very frank, under no circumstances should a board of directors ever disclose the specific person who has the illness. That violates a whole swath of laws, and under no circumstances should the individual ever be disclosed. Whether the board should disclose the fact that there is a case is a slightly more convoluted and difficult answer, because it walks a very delicate line between ensuring that the board acts in the best interest of the health, safety, and wellness of its community and ensuring the right to privacy that its residents have. So, the board isn't disclosing medical information to the community at large. The board has a fiduciary duty to ensure the health, safety, and well-being for its residents on one hand, and it has a duty to not disclose confidential medical information on the other. It's kind of a pickle. And understandably, boards aren't quite sure what to do. Generally speaking, boards should err on the side of caution and not disclose that someone has been positively tested for COVID-19 or is depicting symptoms. If they do disclose that someone has tested positive and then a resident is able to figure out who it is, there could be issues there with disclosing confidential medical information. So the board should probably err on the side of caution, especially considering that if the person who has tested positive is correctly adhering to the CDC guidelines, there's really not that much that can be done anyway. It may entice some homeowners to wash their hands or practice social distancing, but that's something they should be doing anyway. So there's really not much that the board can do to entice compliance, even if someone is positive. Where this becomes especially difficult is if the person who's tested positive or is depicting symptoms is flaunting the CDC guidelines. The person should be in quarantine because they've either tested positive or are showing all the symptoms, but they are still out in community spaces or not in their unit or, having parties with people. Then the board has a problem because this individual is putting the community at risk, or potentially putting the community at risk. So in such an instance, it would likely be permissible for the board to disclose that someone has tested positive and that residents should be following the CDC guidelines at a heightened level. Now, the association can enforce quarantine or social distancing or any of the other CDC guidelines. It's not really within their power. What the association can do and what the association should be doing, regardless of whether someone has tested positive for COVID-19, is doing its best to inform and educate its community that you need to wash your hands, you need to socially distance, stay at least 6 feet away from everyone. I'm sure by this point everyone is well aware of what the general guidelines are for ensuring the health, safety, and wellness of everyone, and should be practicing that in their community. That being said, if people aren't listening, maybe hearing it from your homeowners association might be the final thing to tip you over to adherence. In sum, if the board finds out that someone has tested positive or is showing COVID-19 like symptoms, they should err on the side of caution and not disclose. However, if the positive person is putting the rest of the community at risk, then it may be permissible for the association to disclose that someone is positive in the interest of the health, safety, and well-being of everyone. If you do have questions, feel free to give us a call, or whoever represents you, please give them a call. They would love to help. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there. Until next time.